My bike is locked and loaded and we've hit the road. We are on our way to Berastagi, but as with most of the roads here, it's pretty hard going, so I'm taking a bit of a break and can't think of a better place to have a rest, to be honest. Isn't it pretty? Holy moly, the roads out here, absolutely no joke. And I got myself into quite a bit of trouble the other day driving on the back roads from Bukit Lawang to Berastagi. Now, in the maybe 20 hours that I've been like riding my scooter on the roads in North Sumatra, I'm not exaggerating when I say I haven't seen a single other tourist or Westerner or whatever on these roads. I'm now starting to see why. So I've only got a little scooter. It's 110cc, I think, so it's not very well powered. It's used for like sort of zipping around a city, not the roads of North Sumatra. But along I went. I had to get to Berastagi and I didn't want to take the 5-hour route, so instead I took the 3-hour route, which ended up being 5 hours. Go figure. The road just kept on getting worse and worse until it disintegrated. There was nothing there. It was dirt. It was big stones like rounded about this to provide traction for off-road bikes, not a scooter. And as I was going uphill, because it was the highlands, I thought that it was just going to be a little bad bit and then it would get better marginally again, because I'd experienced that on other parts of the roads in North Sumatra. No, it didn't. It just kept on getting worse and worse, and there's like sort of furrows, and there was just bits where I was having to go so slowly and bouncing around quite violently, and I couldn't really see a way forwards. And then these kids on dirt bikes show up, and there's at least 15 of them, and they think it is absolutely hilarious that there is this solo tourist traveler on a little scooter going up on their crazy roads whilst they have these more capable dirt bikes, and they know the roads, like they could drive them with their eyes closed, I'm sure. And they were laughing at me, and I was starting to feel like a little bit vulnerable. I was thinking like, oh, this is like secondary school all over again, except I'm 34. And there is nothing stopping them at this moment from just like kicking me off my bike, taking my valuables and just going off with this bike, which is only 4 months old, and so it's worth a lot of money here. Like, I didn't realize when I picked it up from Medan that it was practically new. And yeah, I'm taking it on these disastrous roads and like bouncing it about, absolutely wrecking it. So the guy knew where I was going, so hopefully it'll be all right. And so I just carry on with them. They're trying to talk to me. They get me to pull over to take a photo with them. And then I got stuck a couple of times, and so they're pushing me out. They're asking me for money. I didn't really want to stop and give them money because I didn't want to open my wallet and show them that I had quite a bit of cash on me, but as goodwill. I gave them some money, and then my bike fell over on a particularly precarious bit and nearly slid down the hillside, which was pretty scary. And thankfully I wasn't hurt, apart from a minor burn on my leg from how hot the exhaust was. And that's it, really. I was very fortunate. And then we sort of rode in a convoy where they were showing me like sort of the path of least resistance on these really dreadful roads, and we eventually end up in their village. And so I pull over and I find the adults, and using Google Translate I ask, how long is the road this bad for? And they say about another hour. And I wanted to cry. I wanted to sit down and cry, but I had no choice. I couldn't go back. I had to just keep pushing forwards by any means necessary. So I offered to pay someone to escort me until the road improved again. And so it was the kids, of course. So this 14-year-old kid rides my scooter, and it was a bit of, you know, quite a bit of trust to give him the keys and hope that like my valuables strapped on the back and this relatively like brand new scooter would be in good hands. And then I was on the back of a dirt bike driven by someone who probably wasn't older than 11 years old, if I'm honest. And I would just, we go for it. It's another 10 kilometers until the road picks back up again. And I'm bouncing on the back, like to the point where my feet are not staying on the little pegs. And I'm holding on so tight on the back that I've got friction burns all over my hands. And at some points I was just closing my eyes because it was crazy. And I was thinking, what is going on? Like, I hope that I get there safely. Like, this is absolute insanity. And then when I finally got to a bit of tarmac again, I gave them a good amount of money. It was Termakasi, thank you so much. Like, and took a little selfie. And then I headed off, and the road was still like not great. It was a bit like rural Italy, where you're kind of like snaking up of a mountain and there's not really safety barriers, there's blind hairpins, all sorts of stuff going on. And I was just so tired, and I just really wanted to get to Berastagi and like sleep. And I got there in one piece, and it's all part of the adventure, but ayo. It was crazy. And thankfully I don't have to do it again.
Today is Indonesia's Independence Day, celebrating 80 years of freedom from the Dutch, and there is a massive parade. It just keeps going and going with all sorts of processions. It's so much fun.
Which is normally quite sleepy, was so busy that I couldn't get my scooter out at all for about 12 hours. Everyone from the region came to Berastagi as one of the biggest celebrations of the weekend. It was very cool to see. And this is one of the traditional celebrations, which is groups of men from the local communities banding together to climb a greased telegraph pole for cash prizes, which are tacked up onto the top. And as you can see, it drew quite a lively crowd.
After a really busy few days, I've taken myself off to the local Buddhist temple, which is based off of one in Myanmar. Hopefully I'll get some chill out time meditating in there, but it is really busy today as it's still a public holiday. Part of the worship here is to be giving 108 coins in bowls all around the temple, which I'm partaking in as some kind of meditation.